All right, so the first step is we're gonna go ahead and mount the electric Kunray motor. And what you need are these hardware and this U bracket. Now you're gonna go ahead and grab the 2 bolts and nuts, and you can go ahead and mount this bracket onto the chassis. Now you're gonna go ahead and grab the electric Kunray motor, and you're gonna go ahead and place it into the cart. Now to mount the Kunray motor, you're gonna go ahead and grab these M6 flange bolts, and you're pretty much gonna go ahead and use all 3 to mount them onto the side of the electric motor. Now there's gonna be 2 on the sprocket side and 1 on the other side that's gonna mount with the bracket. Just keep in mind, we're not going to tie in the motor just yet. That's going to be the very last step after we finish putting on the chain. So go ahead and just give it a couple threads just to get it on. So we're going to go ahead and swap out the sprocket on the motor.
Yeah, we have to use this to match the axle sprocket. So you have to be careful when you tighten this. So these are actually reverse thread. So you actually have to tighten to loosen.
So once you get the nut off, you're gonna go ahead and pull the sprocket out and replace it with the sprocket that we gave you. And then you're gonna go ahead and insert the hardware back in its original orientation. And don't forget, you're gonna have to loosen to tighten.
Alright.
So right here, as I mentioned before, we're not tightening the bolts yet. We're just giving enough threads, but we kept it loose so we can move it back and forth. So the next step is we're going to install the controller. We have the motor off so you can get a better view of the install, but pretty much here are the hardware, and you insert the bolts from top and grab a big washer and a nut and secure it from the bottom. Alrighty, so if you haven't opened up the controller already, go ahead and open it up by removing the cap. It's held on by 2 screws, and you just unclip it. And now you're going to go ahead and grab the orange wire harness from the motor, and you're pretty much going to match the color of each terminal, and you're going to bolt it down. So yellow goes to yellow, green goes to green, blue goes to blue. You get the vibe. So you're gonna go ahead and grab the plug from the motor harness, and you're gonna match it up with the controller harness. And there's only one plug that fits, so go ahead and find the matching plug and put it together. And then you're gonna go ahead and plug in the controller harness onto the controller. And same as well, there's only one plug that fits. So the next step is we're gonna go ahead and work on the pedal assembly. Now we have this pedal cover that's an option for you to use, and it's pretty easy to install. So on the back of the actual pedal, there are 2 markings, top and bottom. And pretty much what we did is we grabbed the self-tapping screw and we drilled it out from in there, and then go ahead and put the cover back on top of the pedal, and it will match, and you just secure it with the self-tapping screw.
pedal cover installed. Now we're going to install these brackets to angle the pedal so it feels better.
Now we're gonna go to the front of the cart and we're gonna install those 2 brackets for the pedal. And you're gonna grab 4 bolts and nuts along with the washer and go ahead and secure it. So there is a little bit of adjustment on the pedal. You can move it forward for taller people, but go ahead and adjust it accordingly to the driver height. So after you got the brackets mounted, go ahead and grab the pedal and you're gonna go ahead and mount the pedal onto the bracket.
Alright, we're gonna need to put these wires through this hole, but it won't fit because the plug's too big. So we gotta pick out the wires. So how we pick it, we get a pick, obviously. And I'm not sure you can see, but there's like, I'll pull it out and I'll show you. There's like a clip. Basically, I'm pressing this piece right here. I'm pressing down on it inside, like that. And that's how it's released from the plug. So I'm through to all 3 wires. Alright, just like that, all 3 wires are out. Now we're gonna tape them and stick it through the hole. Or tape it so they stay together. Alright. You stick it through here and it should come out the other side. Alright, stop right there. Damn, that was way easier than normal. Alright, the wires are out. Alright, so now to get the throttle cables through, you gotta match the wires to the plug. So how do you know where it goes? You just match it. So red goes with red over here. Okay, next is green is in the middle. And I guess they don't have black here, but the yellow one connects to the black one. And there it is. This is the throttle cable setup. So now we're going to teach you how to wire up the 4 reverse and the 3 speeds, like low speed, medium speed, high speed. You don't need these, but it's just nice to have. You could run the go-kart without this actually. So first we gotta take it apart. So we're just gonna cut this. We're gonna cut these 3. We don't need this this throttle. So we already have a throttle pedal. So this is actually a throttle, but we're not using that. So we're gonna cut these green, red, and black wires. Just delete it.
So to separate the 2 switches, you're gonna go ahead and grab a razor blade and you're gonna go ahead and cut out the sleeves carefully. Make sure you don't cut the wires. You just want to cut the sleeves so you can separate the 2 switches. Now you're gonna go ahead and grab the forward and reverse switch and you're gonna stick it through the steering column support and it's gonna go on the top one. So go ahead and clip it in. After that, go ahead and grab the 3-speed switch. Again, you don't really need this unless you want to have 3 different tunes, but we usually just run tunes, so you can skip this, but if you do want 3 different speed settings, you can go ahead and install this.
Yeah. Got it. Okay, so these ones, they don't match the color, so we need to take a photo of this before I depin it.
So after you depin the 2 switch wires, go ahead and tape it together, and you're gonna go ahead and route it through the back, just like what we did with the accelerator switch, but we're gonna go on the left side.
Stick it here. Got it.
So after you got that routed through, go ahead and grab the key switch, and you're gonna go ahead and depin that as well, and you're gonna go ahead and clip it onto the steering column bracket, and we're gonna route it to the back just like what we did with the forward and reverse switch and the 3-speed switch as well. All right, so once you got the wires routed through, we're gonna go ahead and work on the key switch wires. So go ahead and grab the black wire and connect the connector plug back in. Now that plug is gonna be connected to the orange wire on the controller harness. So go ahead and plug that up. And then there's also one more red wire with a terminal ring. Now that's gonna be installed onto the controller into the red terminal. But we're gonna also sandwich that red wire with the battery wire, so we'll show you in the next upcoming clip. So you're gonna go ahead and grab the battery wire, and you're gonna route it from the front seat to the back. Now you can fish it through under the seat in between the bolts, so it's nice and secure. So now with the battery wire, you're gonna go ahead and put the red wire on the red terminal along with the red wire from the accelerator switch, and then go ahead and secure it with the screw, and then go ahead and grab the black wire and match it up with the black terminal on the controller. After you got all terminals screwed in, go ahead and grab the cover, and you can go ahead and install 2 screws back in. So we're gonna go ahead and work on the 3-speed and forward and reverse switch. Now make sure you put it back in its original orientation. We told you to take a picture earlier, so be sure to take a picture before you depin so you can put it back in its original spot. A quick note, you may need to open up the tabs a little bit because when you depin it, sometimes it bends it flat. So just open it up just a little bit so it has
Send me that picture.
a little bit of catch to it so it can clip onto the plug.
This is the 3-speed plug. As obviously has 3 wires for 3-speed, and then it comes with a, you know, it's a 3-speed plug because it comes with a jumper. This is a jumper harness. You see this? The reason why I call it jumper harness is because if you don't want to run the 3-speed switch up front, if you don't run that, you just plug in a jumper and it'll bypass it, and it'll always be at top speed.
You'll always get that one.
Yeah, which is top speed. It'll always be at top speed. But if you want to have 3 speeds option, then you just plug it in.
So plug into the blue.
Yeah, plug into the blue plug. And then next, this is we're gonna find a reverse and forward one. Should be this one, I believe. Yeah, this one.
So the brown and the black one.
Brown and black goes to the blue and yellow. Plug right in. Like that. That's it. This is the Bluetooth dongle. It helps you tune the controller. So this one goes to this one. I don't know what it says, but it's for Bluetooth. This is the one.
So we're gonna go ahead and connect the battery, and we're gonna turn the switch to power it on.
Yeah.
So after you download FarDriver application, you click on it, open it. You need to connect to the Bluetooth. So this is the Bluetooth right here. You need to connect and then you gotta bound it. Bound. So now it's bounded. You go here, turn off all these settings. We don't use any of those. And then now we need to click on this. We need to go to select the pro pairs. This motor is a 3 pole pair motor.
Okay.
Sensor is supposed to be number 3. After you set those two, you set the pro pairs and temperature sensor, you gotta click save. Alright, now you go back to simple mode, go to graph, click on auto learn. Now we're gonna like teach the motor. So it's gonna do that. Just hold it. You just hold it until it stops. So right now it's calibrating because the motor should be controlling.
So say now it's calibrated?
Yeah. Now it's calibrated, but I think the motor's spinning backwards, so we can fix direction. Because like, if you go there and press it, yeah, it's spinning backwards, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the motor's spinning backwards, so we can fix that by going to parameters. There should be something called motor direction. You just click this, should reverse it, and click save after you do that. Yeah. Now it's spinning forward. That was good. Okay, after we get the motor spinning correctly, you go back to open parameters, and we're gonna put a screenshot on the video to show all my settings because it's gonna be too long to go through all the settings. But to change, just for an example, to like change the amps, click on that. We should set it to 80 to start. So that's how you change it. You click on the number and then you type in the new setting, press OK. After you type in your setting, make sure you click save. If you don't save, it's not going to save to the controller. And that's how you change the settings. So we're going to put all the settings up on the screen and then you just copy all the settings we have. Alright, I'm going to show you how to install a chain. So first, we got to find the right length, we got to cut it. So you look right here, we have to mark which one we need to break the chain because it's too long. The chain is too long, so we need to break it. So we have to make sure we break the right one. So what we're going to replace with is this, what's called a chain link joint or whatever, chain joint. So this one is always the outside one, so we have to break it. We're going to replace this one with this. So we mark, we're going to push this out. So we mark that one, and then we have our chain breaker tool right here. You can buy this on Amazon, or you can, if you don't have this tool, you can use a grinder and grind it out. But we have this tool, so that's how you break it. Right, that was out. see, this is out. Now we have this chain connector. This is a chain link connector. Just gotta push out the clip.
Switch angles.
Yeah. Put this on the outside. Make sure it's in there. That's good. Now we put this to lock it. There we go. Now it's locked. Now your chain is on, so now we gotta tension it.
So the next step is we're gonna go ahead and add some tension to the chain. Before we do that, we're gonna go ahead and align the big red sprocket to the rear sprocket. Once you get that aligned, go ahead and pull the motor back ever so slightly just to add a little bit of tension and go ahead and bolt down the motor.
Just want a little bit of play like that. Make sure we can tighten it.
Good.
So after you get that done, go ahead and make sure the red sprocket is aligned and center with the rear sprocket, and go ahead and tighten down the red sprocket by tightening the 2 bolts.
Alright.
So after you got that done, the last step is go ahead and tidy up the wires, get it nice and tucked, and make sure none of the wires are going to be touching the floor or they're going to be touching the rear axle. Now, I know in this video we haven't tucked the battery terminal wires, but we will do it after, but it's just much easier to do it without the covers on. So go ahead and get that done, and after that, go ahead and install the covers.
Got this M6 by 12 flange bolt. It's right there. Make sure right there.
So on the top right, you have an option to either put a nut and bolt or just put a zip tie on it. We find that it's a little bit easier to put a zip tie on it, so it's less bolts to take out when you need to do maintenance, or in case you need to do any maintenance on the cart. So it's up to you whether you want to use a bolt or a zip tie. So the last step is we're going to install this bracket, and go ahead and grab the M6 flange bolt and nuts, and you're going to install that on the bottom, and then on the side you're going to grab the large 3/8 bolts and nuts and tighten it down, and you're pretty much good to go.
Now we have these 3/8 nuts, 3/8 nuts and bolts. I'm gonna bolt this triangle support bracket together. The reason they're so long is because this is designed so that it can fit the wing stands. But we're not doing any wing stand install. We'll do the next video, but yeah. That's if you want to put the wing on.
So here's a clip of us tidying up the wires on the switches and the battery cable if you guys are interested in how we did it.
You get the cable? Battery cable?
Nasty. Trying to drop the cable better than me. Guess I'm trying to hide this cable. How do you figure this out?
Now this pretty much wraps up this part of the Battle Aero Drift Kart build series for the electric side. Now if you guys are interested in the gas motor install, we will be posting it in the upcoming video. Now we'll be using the Harbor Freight Predator motor for a lot of you guys are interested. If you guys are interested in your own drift karts, be sure to check out our website www.battleaero.com. We'll have a link in the description below. And I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you guys can, hit that like button, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.